Nearly every aspect of modern life is the product of petroleum. The fertilizers that grow our crops, the pigments and paints that adorn our homes and our bodies, even the medicines that salve our ailments and protect us from harm. But most important of all, petroleum drives our vehicles. It has transformed commerce. Over 1 billion people deal with it every single day. But for all we talk about it, most people have no idea what is actually in gasoline. Are there any components that we, as consumers, should know about? That is the focus of this project. While few of us see it, consumer fuel is constantly in flux as oil companies, automakers, and government agencies strive to cut costs, boost efficiency, and reduce their environmental impact. The most important property of gasoline is its octane rating. This number tells us how well the fuel resists something called knocking. Knocking results when the spark plug ignites the vapor before it is properly mixed, causing a tiny supersonic shock wave that wears down the piston and transmits very little force to the gears. Anti-knock additives are mixed into modern gasoline to boost the octane rating. Anti-knock additives include ethanol, toluene, benzene, and other compounds. The octane booster of choice is ethanol, the same alcohol used in beverages. Ethanol is extremely cheap and relatively non-toxic. However, since it can mix with both water and gasoline, any contact with moisture will form a gum that will clog up the intake valves. Ethanol will also slowly eat through any aluminum parts. Since ethanol in gasoline is produced the same way it is for alcohol, a bit of methanol, or wood alcohol, is also produced. Methanol is very toxic and can potentially cause liver damage or even permanent blindness. Another high-octane compound is benzene. Though benzene's ability to cause cancer is widely known, it is almost impossible to eliminate from gasoline because it is found in the oil that is pumped from the ground and is very similar to the other less toxic chemicals. So the EPA has set a limit of 0.62% benzene in the fuel you use to drive. Benzene has been replaced almost everywhere with toluene, which is a very similar compound, but with far less severe chronic health effects. However, there is still evidence that toluene can cause cancer, though at a lesser rate than benzene. So, toluene is also being phased out in many applications and replaced with xylenes, similar compounds with even lower toxicity. So, what does all this mean? What is the point of this project exactly? To see if the stuff you get at the pump contains hazardous amounts of methanol or benzene, and to see if toluene has begun to be phased out for xylenes and how far along that process is. I took samples of 93 and 100 octane gasoline and SO diesel and analyzed them with something called a gas chromatogram, which you will see in a moment. Let's go into the lab and talk about what I found. In diesel, I found no methanol or ethanol, less than 0.2% toluene, less than 1% xylenes, and less than 0.062% benzene, which is less than 1/10 of the maximum EPA value. This makes sense if you think about it. Octane boosters are there to prevent knocking from the spark plug. But diesel engines don't have spark plugs and can run on sludge that no self-respecting car ever would. Of course, being sludge, my results were messy and there was little else I could glean from them beyond what I just told you. 93 octane gasoline, sold as Supreme, has roughly 4% methanol. Though the ethanol content is only 10%, it appears the total alcohol content is over 30%. Benzene is approximately at the maximum allowed and would probably exceed the limit were the alcohols not added. Toluene is roughly 10% and xylenes are about 6%. 100-octane gasoline, intended as racing fuel, contains only a 0.5% methanol, but the ethanol content is about 12%, slightly higher than the number listed on the pump. However, the total alcohol content is only 14%, less than half that of the Supreme gasoline. The fuel contained about 30% toluene, less than 0.1% xylenes, and about 0.44% benzene, significantly below the EPA limit. Now, let's put this all together in layman's terms. ExxonMobil thinks we are idiots. They're using a loophole to put more moonshine into their gas than they should, and this extra alcohol is providing the octane to make up for the cheapness and low grade of their actual gasoline. This cost-saving trick results in fuel that evaporates faster, absorbs water more quickly, provides fewer miles per gallon, and corrodes aluminum parts even faster than plain 10% ethanol fuel. Oh yeah, and there's poison in it.